Years ago, one of the best comic books got a live film adaptation into theaters, and now since the new TV show, the sequel to the comic book, is coming out this weekend, I wanted to discuss and dive in to why I think the original Watchmen movie is fantastic and a completely underrated superhero film. Let's get started. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a brand new movie retro review. Today we're going to be going back and diving in to Watchmen 2009. This is the comic book adaptation of one of the best comic books ever created. I love what Alan Moore had done with the original Watchmen comic, and everything with these characters has just made me so intrigued to it. And really 10 years later, it's crazy to think that at this time period when Watchmen had come out, it wasn't really the best received. And I think that a lot of reason was because people didn't really know what to expect. I feel like people who love the comic book really liked this film, and people who had never really read the comic book didn't know what to get from this film. But now, fast forward 10 years later, I think if Watchmen the movie were to come out in this climate, it would actually have worked better in today's society because of how big comic book films are today and how all of them are affecting us on a daily basis. Of course, guys, if you guys are new here, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on The Watchmen. I love doing early movie reviews, geeky content, all sorts of stuff on this channel, and I don't want you guys to miss out on that. And make sure, to comment down below and let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the original Watchmen. I'm actually going to be reviewing the complete story edition because this is the first time that I ever seen it, and it's going to be a fun discussion. Let me know what your favorite version of Watchmen is down below. Watchmen takes place in 1985, a alternate reality of our American society where former superheroes existed, but the murder of a colleague sends active vigilante Rorschach into his own sprawling investigation, uncovering something that could completely change the course of history as we know it. Just playing around in an alternate history universe is one of my favorite things to Watchmen. I can't believe Nixon's still president in this universe. I can't believe all these superheroes and all the differences to society within this world. What's so creative about Watchmen is what it actually has to say. The mentalities, the subtle messages that this film, and even especially the comic book, want to mention. One of the things I mentioned was all the characters in here and how much I adore each and every one of them. Personally, my favorite is Rorschach, played by Jackie E. Hurley. I love what he does with Rorschach in here. Rorschach is a very emotional character to dive into, but also one that you can completely understand. He's hardened, but he's very creative. And also just in general, the look of him, the aesthetic of him, Zack Snyder got down to a pinch. And this film does feel like a comic book film. Zack Snyder dedicatedly really crafted each sequence to feel like a comic book scene, ripped right out of the comic book. And I'm all for that. The aesthetic in this film is brilliant. And Zack Snyder has always been known to be such a visual director, and this film points it out. Rorschach isn't the only great hero in here. When you also bring up the comedian played by Negan himself, fantastic. And the way that they intersect flashbacks in different time zones to tell the story in here, while at times could be confusing, I think the movie actually made it into a perfect way that they could. Just enough back history to each and every character for you to understand who they are and what they are doing. It's the comedian, again, played by Negan himself, fantastic in the role. Jeffrey Dean Morgan knows what he's doing with this character, and it's just fantastic in its own right. Billy Crudup plays Dr. Manhattan, one of the most intriguing characters in any comic book ever, and Billy Crudup, again, nails it and kills the comic book world as he is describing and playing this character who at times is really pretty much unemotional, but he brings the emotion and makes you care about Dr. Manhattan. Of course, I'd be remiss in not talking about Osmoiades, Night Owl 2, and Silk Spectre 2, all fantastic characters in themselves, and ones that, again, have much more to say. And I love the dynamic between Night Owl and Silk Spectre in here. The kind of relationship that they do have throughout the whole entire film is one of the most special and charming parts about the movie. Did we even mention the action sequences in here? While this isn't a film that's completely based around an action sequence, this is a very much a superhero film that details into the drama and the crime mystery of what is going on with who is killing off these other supes. And that's what it's really the intriguing mentality of it. But the thing that I absolutely love about it is some of the action scenes and when they are there. They are fantastic. They are paced perfectly throughout it, and they are intense, gory, and bloody. Watchmen just feels like a completely different film than anything we've ever had before on the big screen. We don't really have comic book films that come out like this nowadays that are very much unique. In recent history, the few comic book properties that have come out that have been different, when you look at either Logan, Deadpool, and even a sense that new Amazon Prime show The Boys, those are movies that felt different from the typical comic book film. And I know that Watchmen is one of the most unique comic book films, and I think at the time people were expecting big high action, but it wasn't that, and that's not what the point of Watchmen is. Watchmen is one of the best stories created for any comic book, and the complete story edition is probably the best way to view this film. It adds in the dead freighter part with Gerard Butler, and that whole comic book and animated scene is fantastic, and the way that they play it throughout the complete story and how it intersects. It tells a wider story. There's more to dive into within this film, and that's the reason why this film is so beloved by certain comic book fans and why it has 3 editions. I mean, come on. Justice League is beloved by cult classic fans, and people want that Snyder cut, but we don't have it. But I think, for some reason, Watchmen resides in the different minds, where we have the original cut, we have the director's cut, and we also have the complete story edition. I'll give you guys my final thoughts on Watchmen. Make sure to comment down below. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this film. Do you guys like it? Did you hate it? Are you excited for the new show? Let's discuss it down below in the comments. Thank you guys again so much for watching this. Again, hit that like and subscribe button. Head over to Samachon Films if you guys want to see some films early. And of course, a big thank you to you for watching this video, and a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters, because without them, I wouldn't be able to do this. From back in 2009, I don't think people got what they had there. A lot of people haven't even read the comic, and they should. It's one of the best, and this is truly one of the best comic book films ever created. Maybe I'm in the minority on this, but I have so much fun with it. Visual effects, fantastic. The action standpoint, the cinematography, excellent. And the visual flair that Zack Snyder puts throughout and courses into this movie's veins is amazing. And one of the biggest and best parts of here is the story, the mystery crime going on in here, and the characters that we reside in. You're at least going to find one character to really latch on into. And when it's going in and you're getting into the ending sequences of this, while I think one of the most mismatched things of this is the ending, and I actually like the ending more in the comic book, that's fine. This is still a very good adaptation of the original comic book, and I'm actually going to go back and read the comic book right now because, yeah, your boy has to get ready for that new Watchmen movie. But other than that, I'm going to have to give Watchmen an A-. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on Watchmen. Again, I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts on this. And let me know, guys, do you guys want me to be reviewing episode by episode for the new Watchmen series? What I'm thinking of doing is actually just reviewing the whole season. It's a little bit easier on me, and it's a little bit more fun there. So if I do end up doing that, make sure to go follow me on Twitter as well, because I will be posting my reaction to each and every episode as I watch it throughout the weekends. Thank you guys again so much for watching this, and of course, until next time, stay classy.